Hello and welcome! Silrace here with Elder Scrolls Online, and I want to talk about the whole skipping the newbie islands and other related businesses, because I took my, freshly created Imperial made for the previous video and so on to go through the newbie area again to see how this whole, skip the newbie islands and whatnot, how did they make the whole damn thing. And let's say I am kind of disappointed in general with how this whole thing is and was handled. Because, shouldn't the default be that you go to the newbie island and then you are given the option to skip it, right? Instead of going past the newbie islands and then giving the option to go back. Because I don't think it makes sense to give the option to go back, but it makes sense to give the option to skip, right? Just semantics, but I mean, isn't this how it's supposed to be? Oh well. Anyway, quick mention about the tutorial area. They decided to do funky stuff with the tutorial area. Okay, granted, there was a bug where if you put in the bank the weapon you gained from the tutorial area and then try to pick it up from bank with another character and some such, well, there were some interesting bugs in relation to that. So these days you can only pick one weapon. You can only have one-handed weapon out of the tutorial. You cannot choose any other weapon anymore. The weapon racks do not exist. That to me is a little disappointing, to be outright honest with you. And mostly because they also kept the previous text. It still says, choose your weapon. There is only one choice I can make, my friend. Why the heck? It's like, shouldn't it be like, take your weapon, pick your weapon, or whatnot? Because there is not any choices to be made. I do quite like what they did with the final boss though, with how they changed Molag Bal to look and how they the final boss before you get out of the tutorial area is entirely different dude now. So if you haven't gone through the tutorial area since they made those changes, I urge you to take a quick look. Because, I mean, it takes you a minute to go through it. Just do that to see what they changed, you know? As for this whole return to the newbie islands, well, you do get a quest to do that, but you can choose to ignore the quest. You can just abandon it. But, you just have to, depending on the starter area and whatnot, this is the Altmeri Dominion area, you can just go and talk to the NPC and go back to the newbie island to keep doing what you were doing in to begin with. Personally, I always found it really silly that they threw in a absolute newbie area, as in the tutorial we all have to run through, and then they threw in two additional newbie areas. Like, if you look back into previous MMORPGs, because two newbie areas, basically two islands always before you hit the main city. Majority of MMORPGs usually have either a tutorial area and one newbie area, or one newbie area which leads to a combined area for multiple classes slash races. Like World of Warcraft on the Horde side, how the newbie area for trolls and orcs is exactly same and then moves on to Durata, which is the same area for both. And so on. And for example, Tauren has the two interconnected areas as well. So there is none of this like, in addition to that, having a tutorial itself. Like, they could have easily cut it down to one newbie island and the tutorial, you know? That would have made more sense, and it would have not felt quite so long before you actually get to the exploration part of the game, because that's what Elder Scrolls games are about. And right now, it just, well, this feels like another band-aid fix. Redoing that sentence because it came out wrong. To the whole people, you know, complaining about not being able to explore. So yeah, there is that. So I took a look at all this stuff, and now you know how it works and whatnot. So basically, there is no real reason to go through the tutorial islands unless you absolutely want the sky shards and the skill levels from them. So if you are a hardcore, you know, MMORPG player, don't really care about the lore that much, don't really care about the whole, you know, having to go quest, and no real exploration, then yeah, go back to the tutorial areas. Newbie Islands, the tutorial is entirely different, you can't go back there. Anyway, go back to the Newbie Islands and do those. If you really just want to try to get the Elder Scrolls experience, then there's no point in going through them. However, there is a little bit of an annoyance because of how rushed this whole thing was. Some of the NPCs you talk to treat you like you had gone through the newbie areas. That includes some quests you take and so on, even though you have never been there. Keep that in mind, it might break your immersion a little as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm quite done with the Imperials for this whole business. Basically the only reason I played this beta weekend was to try out the Imperials and make a video of them. And of this new tutorial skipping business. Or Newbie Island skipping business and the new tutorial boss. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you folks next time.